Okay, I watched this movie. It took me 3 times, by the way, to get into Wish. I even made it. I had to stop 20 minutes in. I was not into this film at all, and I flew up the Jolly Roger. And the second time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get there. And I swear I watched most of the movie, and it ended up just being about half. Let me put it to you this way. I sat through a 3-hour movie where Robert De Niro and what's his name, Leonardo DiCaprio, basically talked to each other for 3 hours.
Killers of the Flower Man.
This movie was so much longer than that movie, and that was 3 hours. It is amazing how time can work on you like this. When you're
what you're describing happened to me the first time I tried to watch James Cameron's Avatar.
That has nothing to do with this. We're talking about this movie. And the thing is there was nothing to grab onto. I'm almost wanting to yell at people calling this the worst film of all time, blah blah blah, because there's so
it failed to reach the bar of film.
It's a flat line. It's a rice cake. It is a blank screen. It is nothing. It is air. There is no emotional hook. There's nothing you could get into. What's worse is there's a good film under here, and we'll talk about it as we go on. But this is a movie that has no core, nothing, no message to teach, no proper ideals, no proper ideas. I think it's all about equity. It's all, and of course, this is one of, by the way, we talk about what's woke. This one, I got to admit, is very woke. And it does it almost, it's so blasé about it. You might not see it as it goes through, but it absolutely is about equity. It's about the patriarchy. It's about white man bad. Everything they could possibly
entitlement,
shoved right on in.
Entitlement. How dare you be selective? How dare you want appreciation for the things you give to the world? Yada yada yada.
Yeah. So the basics is you've got this guy who was put upon, had bad luck, decided that he was going to improve himself by every means possible, including learning magic. And he creates this country. And people come to his country voluntarily. And he has the power to grant wishes. They voluntarily give him their wishes. Okay? And he chooses once a year to grant someone's wish. Yeah, through a lottery. And actually, it suggested that maybe it was sometimes even more than once a year. Because it's random, and he actually is asked, can you do it again? And he does. So maybe once, twice, who knows, during a year, he'll grant
whatever interval he deems appropriate, because this is the controversy. This is apparently one of the things that makes him a villain. You guys, you ready? He vets the wishes to make sure that they're not going to have massive world-changing or destructive consequences.
So yes, he does all of this, by the way, and the wishes he grants, he makes sure will be good for not just the person granting them, but everybody. And he, as Dalton says, vets the wishes. Means at one point he looks at one wish, and we're going to talk about this one, and he says, "No, it's too vague." There's a line in Community. I don't know if you've ever seen this TV show. Love the TV show. But I forgot the character's name. Donald Glover and Bree, what's her name? They are at a wishing well, and they decide they're going to make a wish. And the girl goes, "No more wars." And he says, "No, you can't do that. You can't do all these encompassing, because that would you wouldn't have Star Wars anymore. You couldn't have a thumb war anymore. So you have to." And he does
just the wars.
If he's too vague, you can't do it.
So on. Yeah.
So this guy's been doing it for decades. This guy has taken care of his country. He's a good king. People love their king. In comes Gen Z. There is a
disturbing how accurate that is.
This movie is so much what's going on now.
Social justice, the movie.
It really is. But right now, any dumbass with a phone, and by God, I hope they don't have a college education, because then they're fucked up for life. But
Antifa members, the movie.
yeah, it really is. In comes Gen Z. And of course, Gen Z knows everything. And there's no talking Gen Z out of the fact that they know everything. I have never met such a dumb group of people. And I'm glad, in all honesty, I haven't met too many of them. But there's never someone so miserably stupid, yet has the confidence, the unearned confidence of somebody who has lived life.
Obviously, not all. It's just the loudest and most noisy Gen Zers, but there are reasonable Gen Zers out there somewhere.
Ahsoka's over here. Wait, no, not me. Obviously, there are exceptions to every rule. So, anywho, this girl, she goes to apply for a job. She's going to be his assistant, and she discovers that he actually picks and chooses. He vets the wishes, and sometimes you have to. Let's see, two sides at war are going to pray and wish that their side wins. It doesn't even have to go that far. Two people watching a sports game are going to wish their team wins. You can't grant all wishes. And
there was a subplot in Bruce Almighty similar to this, where Bruce, not thinking, just said yes to everything, and then of course apocalyptic anarchy ensued because people want contradictory things.
I finally won the lottery, but so many other people won the lottery that I get $1.35,
Mm-hmm.
So he's looking out. He's actually a good king, but because he picks and chooses, oh my gosh, he's so bad because he's not giving everybody their wish. But here's the thing. It's not just that, because she also thinks that if he's not going to grant the wish, they should give it back, because by holding on to him, people are forgetting what their wish was, which I think is kind of stupid. I mean, here's my wish doesn't mean that, okay, here's my memory or here's anything. But okay, in this world, people who have given up their wish doesn't remember their wish.
I think they're trying to play on the double meaning of the word wish as both like dream and ambition. So by robbing them of the wish, you rob them of the ambition to pursue that dream, I think is what they're trying to go for.
Would be the most intelligent thing about this movie. But the main crux of this is it really is a movie about equity and just the patriarchy and
social justice. Well, okay, here's the two things that Magnifico does that apparently make him irredeemably evil. You ready? One, as previously stated, he vets the wishes to make sure that the consequences of the wishes aren't going to end the world or make everyone around the person or the person themselves miserable in the process. And two, he wants to be appreciated for all the work he put into creating this kingdom and making sure everyone is happy.
Yeah. People come on their own.
The horror, because that's entitlement. How dare you expect to be thanked for doing good things?
I built a thing. I want thing to exist. Do not destroy thing. And this girl comes in and she sees something she doesn't like. Therefore, the entire system, let's not work within the system, but the entire system has to be broke down. Sound familiar?
Literally the mob song from Beauty and the Beast, but this time we're on Gaston's side, apparently.
Yeah, that's basically, and yeah, the Beast is a nice guy. This guy, at least in Beauty and the Beast started off as a dick. In this movie, Magnifico is in fact Magnifico. Yeah, he's a great king. People love this guy. Now, I got to admit, this movie is fading fast. I watched it yesterday and I figured, okay, let's get together, Dalton, and talk about this. But this movie is going away. I am not remembering this.
Yeah,
movie.
I think this is another The Marvels.
Yeah, this is something where actually The Marvels has gone opposite. The more I think about The Marvels, the more I've enjoyed it. It is a bad movie, but I actually can enjoy it. This, there's no enjoyment. This, like I said, it's rice cakes. It is the flavor of air. There's nothing to this film. Which
rice
is sad
cakes
because,
tinged with TikTok flavor. pretty much.
There's two words that I love in any film is in this movie. The first word is Alan, and the second one is Tudyk. And still, he plays the goat, and even he cannot save what he's got. There's nothing for him to chew on, and this is an actor you want to throw all sorts of meat to.
Okay, but here's the other
Alan
thing, and I
Tudyk
think
is the future Tim Conway.
I think that I remember this movie more because I was more pissed off by the elements that actively didn't work.
Okay.
And one of them that we haven't touched on yet is, you know how this is Disney's 100th anniversary movie, basically?
Yes.
One, they meme it to death. They literally throw all the superficial trappings of Disneydom in here.
Mm-hmm.
And two, they try to make this a soft origin story for most of the iconography from classic Disney.
Spoiler alert for a whole bunch of people that aren't going to see it. At the end, they have one guy that wished to be Peter Pan. Alan Tudyk's character wished for Zootopia. I do believe at the end they also closed the storybook like they used to do in the old films.
Like the classic when Walt was still alive ones. Yeah. Asha becomes the fairy godmother. Magnifico gets trapped inside a mirror and becomes the magic mirror from Snow White. The star that is basically the star from Mario, but because Disney, it's literally Disney saw that in the Mario movie and went yoink. But but that star is now the singular wishing star apparently. So it's the one that all of the Disney movies that have ever wished upon a star have wished upon. And if you're the sort of person who does introduce things like retroactive continuity into things, the only thing this will do is tie every single Disney movie inexorably to one of the worst, most generic, most empty, and most insufferable movies under Disney's entire frickin' banner.
Now, I mentioned that this is. I said that I think you're giving it too much credit if you call it the worst film in the world. Disney, Dalton froze. So, give me a few here. There is an actual worst Disney of all time, and it's called Home on the Range. I actually do, or maybe I'm the one that's frozen. I would actually rather watch Home on the Range than I would this one. Hello, did you freeze or I froze?
I don't know. I think we both lagged a bit.
There you
go.
Yeah, because I saw my computer just rebooted. So I was saying, I do believe saying this is the worst film of all time is giving it way too much credit. That being said, I would prefer to go and watch Home on the Range more than I would this one. If now, I am not against doing a Disney retro and just start at the beginning and work to the end and let's review them all and rank them all the whole 9 yards. But I think I would dread watching this movie more than I would Home on the Range. And Home on the Range is the worst Disney movie ever made. I might include this one in it, but at least Home on the Range was the worst Disney movie ever made. This one seems like I think the laziest would be the best way to say it. Like you could, if something is made that's that bad, there was passion going on into it. There's a lot of bad ideas, but
it's the Ed Wood effect. Yeah.
This one, not so much. Not so much.
The only thing they were passionate about was the social justice politicking nonsense. And those are the worst aspects of the movie.
Oh my gosh. And they managed to have everything. I think there's an autistic kid. There was there's somebody who is, of course, they've got the gay, they've got they've got the racial diversity, they've got the body diversity, they've got everything is included here.
Rosas itself has vague Hispanic vibes, so there's the cultural diversity, maybe.
Okay, so I was talking to my daughter, and she mentioned something as well, because she said that the songs made her think
God.
that perhaps they wanted to get Lin-Manuel, and
they didn't.
they didn't. So they decided, hey, we could do it ourselves, and tried and failed miserably. And she goes, you know what? Until I saw this movie, I didn't really respect Lin-Manuel. Like, okay, yeah, because and mainly the villain song, which none of the songs hit with me. This is like the opposite of The Greatest Showman. I watched Greatest Showman, I went,
but the songs, though,
the songs just kept me coming. And my quick review of Greatest Showman is great songs looking for a good movie. This is none of that. I mean, there's nothing.
Songs are a movie where songs take it down even further than it otherwise would have been.
It's like the songs are the bathroom break. Seriously, there's just nothing. And what's worse is if you listen to some of the lyrics in the villain song, he's talking about, oh, they hate me because I made this country and I invited them in and I wanted to make sure they're all happy. I'm like, are you trying to make this guy the bad guy? Because over and over, you're just reinforcing that he's the good guy, and these kids are coming out, no, we know best, passion, woohoo.
Yeah, what we're expected to find objectionable about him is, one, the vetting of the wishes, because you shouldn't discriminate or quality control anything. You should just give everything to everyone for the asking. And two, the fact that he wants some level of appreciation in return for literally spending decades studying magic and then using that magic to create a society that everyone is happy with. And it would be something you could do if, for example, there was a price to his magic. Like if he actually had to hurt people or destroy things in order to make his magic work, something like in Dragon Prince, or something like in Witches Abroad, the Terry Pratchett book, or something. Like there are ways you could do this and have it work with him being the villain. But the only downsides we have are very social justice immorality, which is to say you're not supposed to desire appreciation for doing things. You should just do them because they're good. And two, you never should put a meritocratic stamp on anything because that's discriminatory and evil.
Okay, what's going on? All right, there you go. Is that where you're gonna sit? You don't want the shoulder? Okay. Twiddles, the world, Twiddles. He's been kind of a pain today. It's because he was in his cage, and the only light that he had, because I turned off the light while I was watching, was the movie Wish, and now he's mad at me. I don't know if that's true, but it might as well be, because this was bad, wasn't it? It was.
He would be correct if that is the reason.
Let's see. LK is saying it will also be interesting to see if Jennifer Lee finally start getting some blame, because she's the chief creative officer for Disney Animation since Lasseter was fired. Look, they had Coco and they had Encanto, and then I watched Elementals and it was bad. That was Pixar thing, but there was nothing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but then Strange World and Lightyear and Turning Red, and it
hasn't been good.
A misstep after another.
Good Burger.
The last really honestly good one I think was Soul. Soul was genuinely.
Soul was all right. That one was okay. Yeah. I haven't seen Good Burger 2 yet. I am too old. When Good Burger 1 was out, which I watched, I thought it was cute. I took my daughters. They laughed their asses off. They were
Eglantine isn't the all that generation.
No. My daughters were.
His daughters are, and I am. So I'm actually excited for Good Burger 2 because I was a kid who grew up on all that. So
I gotta admit though,
I know the meme.
I'm actually surprised to see it was Keenan who became something and not Kel. Because Kel's the welcome to Good Burger. Can I take that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was funny in those movies. Ed, okay, yeah, Ed's funny. And he's in the Mystery Men, so he gets extra points. But back to this piece of crap. Okay, so what's her name? Asha, I think her
Gotcha.
name is, wishes
Yeah.
on a star, and she gets the power to grant some wishes as well. And um, the king finds out that this is a way to get more power and grant more wishes and do more things. So he decides to absorb the star, and he goes nuts, and the entire kingdom goes up against him. And like you said, he gets trapped in the mirror. Now I'm watching this, and I said, there's a good movie in here. This is a king that's loved by his people. This is a king that has done everything right for his people, and he wants to keep the balance. So what could have happened was this girl who thinks she knows everything gets the power of wish giving as well, and starts giving out wishes like we brought up Bruce Almighty.
Penny candy. Yeah.
Yeah. Just here you go, here you go, here you go. And
The Oprah of wishes.
Now tell me this isn't a better movie. The king decides that he has to bring balance to the country, and so the people are safe. He ends up absorbing the star, same he does in the movie. You don't even have to change a lot of the animation. But the thing is, now the king is doing it for altruistic reasons, and he starts going mad, and the people have to save him for once. The people that he has protected so many times have to save him from insanity, from even going power mad. So even though he's attacking them and trying, they have to use their power, as they do at the end, of love and wishing, to make sure that the king himself is safe. Then you have a juxtaposition. You actually have a story arc. You have something. And it is not the social justice freaking woke crap that we have in this movie right here.
Or you could have actually had a version of this where he is the villain. Like, I can think of probably 5 examples off the top of my head. The first one that comes to mind is the Terry Pratchett book Witches Abroad, and Granny Weatherwax's sister Lily is very much the kind of character that I think they wanted Magnifico to be, but because they needed to throw the social justice crowbar in there, you can't actually have his dark magic have any corruptive qualities, like I think Varen from Dragon Prince. You can't actually have it be like a facade or totalitarian like it was in Witches Abroad. You can't have it be, removing good and evil robs people of their souls like it is in the Powerpuff Girls episode See Me, Feel Me, Know Me. What's bad about him is A, that he vets the witches, and that B, he wants appreciation for doing right by his people. According to the rubric of social justice, those are immoral actions.
Well, so according to LK, and I do agree with this, is if you do the story my way, they have to save the cis white male, and that's just not done because he's got to be evil. I think you could still have your social justice message, because all the people who aren't white save the white guy, showing them that maybe the white man doesn't know everything, that kind of thing. But
the poor diversity cast shouldn't have to clean up after the patriarch.
It's not their job to explain. I remember that more like the drop from Coming to America to Coming to America 2. Coming to America sucked. It was so bad, so very, 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 very bad. Rhaegar's talking about I saw Good Burger 1, but never heard of Good Burger 2. It's on Paramount Plus right now. I haven't watched it yet. And I grew up with it, but did not really watch all that. So I guess that's not really growing up with it, but you get my point. Also, Candyman sequel, which I didn't care for, to tell you the truth. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about a movie like this. I don't think there's much to say. They tried and failed. I think LK's right. It's not a mistake. This is their values. This is what they want to get across. They did exactly what
they made the movie they wanted. It's just they were wrong.
And once again, it's just proving that audiences just do not want to see this kind of movie. Something with more traditional values, maybe. Something that is more uplifting. Something that you uplift everybody.
Something that can be universal, like the Disney Renaissance was, and Walt's original 10-year was.
You need a hero who's fighting for something, not against something. And I think that's something that Disney is really kind of steered the wrong way.
Well, and you could have an oppressive, evil king,
Yeah, of
but you
course.
would have actually had to have had him do something evil, or even if you wanted to have him be a villain with good intentions, have his have his magic have dark consequences. Have there be some
But
kind of corruptive, like consequence to his magic that he doesn't see or that he thinks is worth what he gets out of it.
this
Something like
movie,
yeah,
the character of, what was the name again? Asha or something like that.
Asha.
All throughout the movie, she's put upon. There, like I said, she's never fighting for anything. She's fighting against. It's all the patriarchy bad. All the everything's bad. I am so put upon. They're so put upon. My grandfather doesn't get his wish. Therefore, in all honesty, and it starts from that selfish reason. It's somewhere in the middle. They decide, oh, she can't be selfish, so she's trying to get everybody's wishes back so they can work on them themselves. But no, it starts off she's being selfish.
And correct me if I'm
There
wrong.
was never a time when she says, we need freedom for everybody. We need this for everybody. It is all about being put upon. It's always about putting down. And I think that's one of the things that makes this a movie that people do not want to watch, because ultimately.
Correct me also if I'm wrong. When Asha raises the issue of her grandfather's wish to Magnifico, he actually gives her a rationale as to why he didn't pick it.
Yeah,
why it's not
his video or his video. His wish was that he wanted to inspire people. And Magnifico goes, I can't grant that. That's too vague. To inspire to do what? To cause damage, to revolt, to break things down, maybe to be violent. There's
yeah,
so
and
many
right
things
there,
that,
that's the SJWs inserting everything that they've been told whenever they go on the Antifa style warpath, and people go, "You're burning things down and being violent. That automatically makes you the bad guy, don't you know?"
Well, and so he didn't grant the wish. It's too vague, and that to me is okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It just it does. It's, I don't know.
Because long-standing consequences, like every other like genie wish or fairy wish type thing we've ever seen in a story, when you're vague about the way you're wording a wish, then either through the genie's own malice, which isn't really applicable here, or through simple like organic consequences of change, unbalancing the scale of destiny through a random windfall, things can get out of hand, as they always do in these kind of situations. And Magnifico, God bless him, has found a way to mediate his magic in such a way that he can account for those random consequences and not allow things to go all anarchistic and get out of control. But Asha only sees you're privileging yourself by being the one who decides, and Magnifico's they frame it as villainous, but I ended up going, yeah, no, he's right. Of course, I'm the one that decides. I'm the one who knows how this works.
Yeah. Welcome to and this is what I say to a lot of the kids that start up. Welcome to a world where you were just born into. You think the everything started the moment you became conscious of anything.
And the funny thing is, he's trying to take her as his apprentice, and this is allegedly her first day of being a sorcerer's apprentice. So don't you think he might have explained in the rest of the apprenticeship why he does what he does if you had just let him?
He did. He explained his wish is too vague. I cannot, because it would do that right there. Should have told her
too many consequences.
Back off a little bit. Trust me. Listen. Shut up. Listen and learn. That was something that was meant to. I remember when I was young. Shut up. Listen and learn. That was told very curtly, very straight by a lot of bosses, by people who wanted to teach you something. Shut up. Listen. Learn. Now, but you don't tell me to shut up because I'm going to. Oh, shut up. Listen. Learn. You don't know she was a freaking teenager going into an industry she didn't know about. So shut up, listen, learn.
Here's another example of this kind of plot thread being done better and being framed properly. I'm pretty sure everyone and their mother has seen Wicked or heard of Wicked at least once, right?
Yeah.
a very similar thing happens there, where she goes to apprentice with the wizard, and and she feels put upon, and so she rebels and becomes the Wicked Witch of the West
Well,
in the
thank you
process.
for spoilers. I'm just kidding. I've never seen it, but I can't wait to.
Yeah,
Dude,
but
let's see. Ed saying seems reasonable. How did they rationalize the king was being a dick? They had him absorb the star and go crazy, and therefore they could do whatever they want. Let's not help him out. Even the wife, even the queen turns on him. It was, I actually felt bad for the villain of the story, which is really the teenage girl who fucked everything up. But
yeah, I have a video in the works that's in defense of Magnifico, and I'm trying not to bring too much of it in here because,
yeah,
well,
I get it. You
I have a
want to
video
save it for that. That being said, we've been at this for 30 minutes. And this is gonna, I cannot, except for in a tier list of some sort, see me talking about this movie very much going forward. We usually give it a score 1 through 10. 1 and 2 horrible, 3 and 4 bad, 5 and 6 average, 7 and 8 good, 9 and 10 is awesome. Where do you put this?
See, it's gonna have to be a Barbie situation again, because it's one of those, if you take the movie as read, where Asha is supposed to be the good guy and Magnifico is supposed to be the bad guy.
Asha is supposed to be the good guy. You might take it the other way, but as is, right now, we're doing the as is movie. Asha is the good guy. Magnifico the bad guy.
As is, it's a C minus. If you try to view it as like a cautionary tale, where Magnifico is actually the good guy and Asha is the unaware bad guy, then it gets bumped up to
Okay, so you're around
C+.
a 4. You're around a 4 at this one, then.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think it was awful. I think it was more forgettable. I would put it at I know that's not true. I'm going to put it at a 2. I think Alan Tudyk was okay. I think Chris Pine was good. They keep it at a 2. But there you go. Obviously can't recommend this film. Is there something I could point you out to? Anything? I was going to watch The Holdovers. I didn't see that yet, but I'm trying to think of a movie that I saw. You know what? I went looking for a Christmas movie and found Inglourious Bastards by Quentin Tarantino and stopped. I was like, yeah, that's good. It's on Prime now. So I started watching.
I watched Shawshank Redemption on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And that was pretty good. I'm trying to think of a new movie that I've seen that I could go, oh, you should check that one out. But for the life of me, everything's just flying away here. See that Thanksgiving slasher movie? Not yet. I think that might be one. Thank you for recommend. I don't know if you recommended it. You just asked. I want to. I'm going to check that out. I'm trying to remember what I watched recently, though. I even walked through everything, and I made my list again because I wanted to go through the movies. Where did I put my list? This will help. I actually keep a list of every film that comes out in the in of the year, and I just put my grade on it, so at the end of the year I can see where it is and what I'm doing. And I've been doing this since 1990. Let's see, those I saw earlier in the year. Doom That Came to Gotham, I gave an A. That's on HBO Max. Let's see, Naughty 9 is coming out. Up Disney's Wish. Genie just
that looks nice. The Naughty 9 actually.
99, yeah. The last thing. Oh, that's right. I did see that. There's a documentary on HBO Max right now called Albert Brooks Defending Your Life. It's basically about his career. I think Albert Brooks is funny as all kinds of get out. But I'm going to be watching The Killer as well. And before that, we talked about the Marvels already. What did I see? Friday Night at Freddy's, I gave a C+. Old Dads was okay. That's on Netflix right now. It was written and directed by redheaded comedian, kind of loud, Bill Burr. And before that, VHS 85. That's a horror film. I love that series, but this one kind of gets a C+. Totally Killer is on Prime. That is so much fun. Check that out.
Ed is asking if we've seen Napoleon yet.
Not yet. I'll check that out for you, sir. I'll have some reviews and such for it. I'm also getting ready to do the total year ranked kind of thing because I've always wanted to. For those
around that time,
For that, I like to wait. I'll wait until like a week or two into January, then I'll get to that, because give time to watch everything and so
Yep,
forth.
it's a YouTube tradition, the best and the worst list.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. I know some people like to get their bids, and usually they're the ones that have some sort of connection where they're seeing advanced films and all that kind of stuff. If it isn't on the pirate sites and such, I probably can't see it in advance. So, all right. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us and listening to us rant about a kid's film. You know what? I'm a Disney guy. You guys know that. I've lived here.
Yeah, we're Disney fans. We're allowed.
I love the movies. I've got books on the movies. I've studied the movies, watched the movies so many times. And
the park is in his backyard, so there's that.
It's getting harder and harder to get excited about it. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. As always, don't forget to do the I have watched part of the Squid Game challenge, by the way. That is a lot of fun. I wish I could be a part of it. And don't forget to do all the clicking and the liking and the sharing and all that. Help out the channel that way. If you can't, go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the tip jar and such. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Cheers, guys.